Welcome back everyone. In this video, we're going to learn multiplication and division of decimals. So far, we've learned decimal foundation, adding and subtracting decimals. If you haven't watched those videos, I recommend you to go back and have a look at them. So a lot of students get nervous when they see decimal multiplication and division. Trust me, once you learn these patterns, it's actually very straightforward. When we look at multiplying decimals, we have a few rules that you need to follow, and this would make it very easy for you to multiply decimals. So let's have a look at them. So your first rule is to ignore decimal points. Second step is to multiply normally. The third step is to count the number of decimal places. And the fourth step is to put the decimal back. Ignore the decimal point when doing your multiplication, multiply normally, count how many decimal places are there in total, and put the decimal. So here's an example. Let's multiply 0.3 times 0.4. So how would we do it? First thing, let's ignore the decimals. That's the same as 3 times 4, which is equal to 12. And then let's count how many decimal places there are. So we have one decimal place here and one decimal place there, which makes it a total of 2 decimal places. So with that, we're going to count 2 decimal places with our answer. So it will be 1, 2. This is where the decimal point will go. And because the decimal point is right in the front, we're going to put a 0 there. And our answer would be 0.12. Here's another example. Let's multiply 0.2 times 0.5. So it's the same as 2 times 5, which is 10. How many decimal places do we have? 1, 2. So that would be 1, 2. Here would be your decimal point. So this would be 0.1. So your answer would be 0.1. So now what happens when we're multiplying a decimal with a whole number? Well, we do the same thing. Let's ignore the decimal. So it would be 24 times 3, which would give us 72. And then from there, we count how many decimal places we have. We have 1, which is just 1 there. So your answer would be 7.2. Now, what happens when we're multiplying huge numbers like 3.25 times 1.4? Well, I say huge numbers because we're going to multiply them like there are no decimal points at all. So this is the same as 325 times 14. And if we do multiply this, we get 4,550. Now, how many decimal places do we have? 1, 2, 3. That'll be 1, 2, 3 right over there. So our total answer will be 4.55. Okay, now we're going to look at estimation checks. So we're going to estimate the answer instead of trying to compute the exact answer. So we would have a number that is very, very close to correct answer. And this can help you in your day-to-day life. Here's a question. Let's multiply 4.8 by 2.1. Well, if we're estimating 4.8 is the same as 5, 2.1 is the same as 2, right? So now we can multiply 5 times 2, and this would give us 10. So if we do estimate, we get our answer as 10. Let's now try and actually solve. 48 21. If you do multiply it, this is 8, 4, 0, 16 to 6, carry 1. 2 times 4 is 8, plus 1 is 9. So what we actually get if you add this, that will be 8, 6 and 4 would be 10, 0 carry 1, 9 plus 1 is 10. So we have that there. And how many decimal places do we have? We have 2 decimal places. So 1, 2. So your answer would be 10.08, which is very, very similar to our estimated value. So that does make sense. So let's estimate 3.9 times 1.8. 3.9 is the same as 4. 1.8 is the same as 2. So what's 4 times 2? It's 8. Now let's try and solve it. So we would have 39, 18. 8 times 9 is 72, so that's 2, carry 7. 8 times 3 is 24, plus 7 is 31. So we put 31 there. We put a 0 here. 9, 3. That's 2, 10. So 0 carry 1. And we're adding this, right? So 2 plus 0 is 2. 1 plus 9 is 10. So 0 carry 1. 3 plus 3 is 6. Plus 1 is 7. How many decimal places? 2 decimal places. So that's 1, 2. We get 7.02, which is, again, close to 8. That is our answer. Now let's look at dividing decimals. So again, when we divide decimals, we have a certain rule that would help us divide them. And this rule is, firstly, you want to divide normally, and secondly, you want to keep the decimal point directly above your equation. So we're not going to include the decimal when dividing, but we'll keep the decimal point right above. First example is 8.4 divided by 2. Well, what we'll do is we'd say 8, 4, keep the decimal point above in the same position, divided by 2. That's 2 into 8 goes 4 times, 2 into 4 goes twice, and the decimal point goes there. And that would be your answer. That's what's meant by keep the decimal point right above. Now the question is 9.6 divided by 3. We will do the exact same thing. Keep the decimal point above. 3 into 9 is 3. 3 into 6 is 2. And the decimal point is in between them. And that is your answer. So now we're going to divide decimals by decimals. Before we were dividing decimals by whole numbers, now we're going to divide decimals by decimals. So what do? The main rule here is to move the decimal point in both numbers, your numerator and denominator, until your denominator becomes a whole number. Denominator is the same as divisor. So that's the number in the bottom. Let's give that a try. So here's a question. 4.8 divided by 0.6. Let's solve this. So 4.8 over 0.6. We're going to move the decimal place once and once. What does that give us? 48 over 6. The divisor, which is the denominator, is a whole number now. So we can now divide. So how many times does 6 go into 48? Goes 8 times. How about 3.6 divided by 0.4? Give this one a try and let's see what answer you get. So now we're going to do the same thing. So 3.6 divided by 0.4. We're going to move the decimal point once. So we get 36 divided by 4. And how many times does 4 go into 36? Goes in 9 times. And that's your answer. Here's another example. 12.42 divided by 0.6. So let's do the same thing. 12.42 divided by 0.6. Well, we're going to move the decimal point once. This makes the divisor, your denominator, a whole number. So we'll move that one once as well. So now we have 124.2 divided by 6. So here we're going to use the first rule of keeping the decimal place at the top. 6 into 12 is 2. 6 into 4 is 0, because 6 can't go into 4, but 6 into 42 is 7. And we drop the decimal point, and that would be your answer. Here's another question. 15.75 divided by 0.5. Let's do the same thing. One decimal place there. Now this is a whole number. This is 5. So we're looking at 157.5. Let's work on this. 5 into 15 is 3. 5 into 7 is 1. Remainder 2. Right? 5 into 25 is 5. And then we can drop the decimal point there. That's your answer. Here's a challenging question. I'd like you to try and work on it and let me know what you get as your answer. Let's now do it. First step is we're going to simplify this. So we have 2.5 times 1.2. So this is the same as saying 25 multiplied by 12. So 2 times 5 is 10, 0 carry 1, 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5, 0, 5, 2. So 0 here, 1 times 5 is 5, 1 times 2 is 2. We add this, we get 0, 5 plus 5 is 10, so 0, carry 1, 1 plus 2 is 3. So it's 300, but then we have 2 decimal places, so 1, 2. So this left part would be 3. Let's work on the right part. We have 6.4 divided by 0.8. Well, we can move it one decimal place. So we have 64 divided by 8. And what does that give us? 64 divided by 8 is 8. And with that, now we can add 3 plus 8. What does that give us? 11. And that is your answer. If you found this helpful, make sure you hit subscribe and join our school community for more lessons, practice, and support. The link is in the description below. See you inside.